Welcome to the weekly economic calendar for the week of January 20, 2023, brought to you by Augustcool. Hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel to receive notifications about our content. This is bound to be a busy week, with several significant economic data points being released, as well as the next interest rate decisions from the US Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank. Monday's slate includes preliminary GDP data from Germany, which is expected to show little or no growth for the fourth quarter of 2022. Germany's real GDP is set to grow by 1.6% in 2022 and to decrease by 0.6% in 2023, before rebounding by 1.4% in 2024. A downside risk to the forecast is that delays to diversifying energy supplies and to reaching energy savings targets could cause shortages and rekindling energy price inflation in the winter of 2023-24. We'll also receive EU business climate and consumer confidence figures for the month of January. Tuesday starts off with the manufacturing PMI figures from the Chinese National Bureau of Statistics. The official NBS manufacturing PMI was down to 47.0 in December 2022 from 48.0 in the previous month, pointing to the third straight monthly decline. The December print also marked the steepest pace of contraction in factory activity since February 2020. The consensus is for a reading of 49.7 for January. But treat any numbers with a bit of skepticism, given the lack of transparency into the impact of COVID and the reopening in China. Chinese non-manufacturing PMI will also be released on Tuesday. Tuesday will also have German unemployment data, preliminary GDP data for the EU, the US Housing Price Index for last November, and US consumer confidence for January. On Wednesday, all eyes will be on the Federal Reserve's announcement, scheduled to come at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. After a series of supersize rate hikes in 2022, markets are betting on a standard quarter-point rise from the Federal Reserve at its first meeting of 2023 following a further slowdown in inflation and remarks by policymakers. Before that, on Wednesday we'll see the Caixin manufacturing PMI numbers, and EU preliminary consumer prices. Out of the US on Wednesday we'll also get the ADP employment change, as well as the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI and the ISM Manufacturing PMI data, both of which are expected to have readings under 50, which suggests contraction in manufacturing sector. On Thursday the European Central Bank gets its turn, with their monetary policy decision. A half basis point hike is widely expected. Out of the US on Thursday we'll see the weekly initial jobless claims and the factory orders data for December. Friday's economic data includes service PMI from China, the S&P Global Composite PMI for the EU in January, and a handful of reports from the US, including non-farm payrolls, the national unemployment rate, as well as the S&P Composite PMI and service PMI figures. That's it for this week's economic calendar. Thanks for watching. For more about us and what we do, follow us on Twitter at Augustcool,